Media frenzy in Tokyo. Jungkook's Calvin Klein event sparks buzz over guest list. But where are the BTS members? Global sensation Jungkook is expected to make a high-profile appearance at the upcoming Calvin Klein launch in Tokyo, accompanied by family and several US celebrity friends, but without fellow BTS members, leading to rampant media speculation. Here's everything we know. The fashion industry is no stranger to surprise moments, but few announcements, or even rumors, have stirred the landscape quite like the recent developments surrounding Jungkook. As one of the most recognized global ambassadors of Calvin Klein, Jungkook has consistently captured attention for his sleek, modern image and magnetic influence in the world of fashion. However, as Tokyo gears up to host what is anticipated to be one of the year's most iconic Calvin Klein launch events, speculation about Jungkook's guest list has sparked a wave of global media frenzy, according to sources close to the planning committee. Jungkook is reportedly preparing to attend the high-profile event in Japan not only as a front-row figure, but also as a centerpiece personality around whom much of the evening is expected to revolve. And yet, what makes this event uniquely intriguing is not only his confirmed participation, but the details surrounding who might, and might not, be attending alongside him. Reports have emerged that Jungkook is likely to bring several members of his extended family to the launch event, including figures rarely seen in public. Names have not been officially released, but media outlets are buzzing with the possibility that both maternal and paternal relatives may appear for the very first time in a public setting tied to Jungkook's professional life. If confirmed, this could mark a shift in how the idol has chosen to navigate his public image, one that's typically marked by privacy and tightly controlled exposure of his personal life. But the family presence is only one part of the story. Multiple entertainment insiders have suggested that Jungkook has extended invitations to several well-known American celebrity friends, some of whom he reportedly met during his time in the US working on solo projects, studio sessions, and attending international award ceremonies. Names such as Halsey, with whom he collaborated on BTS's Boy With Love, and other artists who have kept close ties with the global K-pop star, have surfaced in online discussions and unconfirmed reports. If such figures do attend, the event would serve not just as a Calvin Klein brand celebration, but as a transnational convergence of East and West, a powerful symbol of Jungkook's evolving role as a cultural ambassador. What has further fueled discussions, however, is not simply who will be present, but who reportedly won't be. While Calvin Klein has remained tight-lipped about the full guest list, one notably absent category is that of BTS members. Despite their historic camaraderie and support for each other's solo endeavors, the speculation that no other BTS member will attend Jungkook's fashion event in Tokyo has drawn significant attention. Fans, media outlets, and cultural critics alike are all wondering, is this simply a matter of scheduling conflicts? Or does it point to something deeper, a shift in group dynamics as each member continues down increasingly individualistic paths? This line of questioning has not been helped by the lack of communication from big hit music, HYB labels, or the BTS members themselves regarding the Tokyo launch. While it's not uncommon for the agency to withhold such information until official press releases are made, the silence in this instance has allowed space for rumors to flourish. The significance of this launch cannot be overstated. Calvin Klein's Tokyo event is expected to be more than just another fashion show. Industry experts indicate that the event may involve a major unveiling, possibly of a capsule collection co-designed or heavily influenced by Jungkook himself. Though no official confirmation has been provided by the brand, early teaser images featuring Jungkook in never-before-seen outfits have added fuel to this speculation. Calvin Klein Japan has also hinted at a groundbreaking partnership announcement through cryptic social media posts scheduled to align with the launch. If Jungkook indeed plays a more creative role in the campaign, this marks a significant evolution in the relationship between K-pop idols and Western luxury brands. No longer merely brand ambassadors, figures like Jungkook could be seen as cross-industry collaborators, helping to define the fashion narratives they represent, a development that could reshape the K-pop fashion industrial complex for years to come. But again, the biggest talking point remains the potential absence of BTS members. Historically, BTS has operated with a palpable sense of unity, often appearing together at events, award shows, and public appearances. Even during their solo ventures, the members have supported one another on social media or through appearances in each other's projects. That Jungkook's Tokyo moment might unfold without even a single BTS member present has led to numerous interpretations. Some observers argue that this is a healthy sign of independence, a reflection of how each member is carving out his own path during the group's chapter of military service and solo exploration. Others view it more critically, wondering whether strategic branding decisions are playing a stronger role than friendship or group loyalty. Public discourse aside, the event is shaping up to be a significant milestone in Jungkook's career. Beyond fashion and fandom, his anticipated appearance alongside family members and US celebrity friends suggests a broader narrative, one that portrays him as not just a global pop star, but as a unifying cultural figure whose reach crosses generational and international lines. And while media continues to speculate on who will or won't be in attendance, the fact remains, Calvin Klein's Tokyo launch is poised to become one of the most discussed fashion moments of the year, and Jungkook is, once again, at the center of it all. As press coverage intensifies and Tokyo prepares to host fashion's most anticipated gathering, one thing is certain: all eyes will be on Jungkook. Whether or not BTS members make a last-minute appearance, the conversation has already been set in motion. The question now is, how will Jungkook redefine the narrative, and where does this leave BTS, the fandom, and the future of cross-border collaboration in the fashion world? While the event itself dazzled guests and fans, the story behind how it all came together provides even more insight into Jungkook's growing presence as a global figure. Sources close to both Calvin Klein and Jungkook's management team have shed light on months of preparation that led up to the Tokyo launch. According to reports, discussions about Jungkook fronting the brand's Asian flagship event began as early as 6 months ago. The idea was to not only capitalize on his influence, but also showcase him as a cultural bridge between East and West. What was originally envisioned as a modest campaign appearance evolved into a full-scale collaboration involving creative input, international logistics, and an ambitious guest strategy. Confidential documents reviewed by fashion insiders revealed that Jungkook's management played a significant role in negotiating terms that would allow him more influence on the event structure. These included his desire to invite both family members and selected international guests of his own choosing. Calvin Klein's marketing team reportedly welcomed this approach, recognizing the powerful narrative it could provide for global outreach. Planning the logistics of flying in both his family and US-based celebrity guests was no small feat. A dedicated hospitality team coordinated hotel accommodations, private transport, and press briefings under strict confidentiality agreements. All involved parties were bound by non-disclosure contracts to preserve the surprise element until the moment of the actual event. While Calvin Klein has worked with major artists before, this marks one of the first instances where a K-pop star has influenced both front-facing branding and behind-the-scenes direction. From selecting music for the catwalk to approving the mood board for the venue's visual aesthetic, Jungkook's input was woven into nearly every layer of execution. Interestingly, a source familiar with the matter claimed that preliminary invitations had been extended to BTS members months in advance. However, scheduling conflicts due to military service, personal promotions, and overseas travel may have prevented the group from reuniting at the Tokyo event. No formal statements from BTS members have been issued to clarify their absence, leaving the public to continue speculating. Meanwhile, Calvin Klein executives have already expressed satisfaction with the results. Internal communications from the brand noted a record spike in online traffic within 48 hours of the event, with Jungkook's campaign photos topping engagement metrics across key demographics in both Asia and North America. As the fashion world digests the success of the Tokyo launch, what remains to be seen is how this unique blend of creative control, cultural curation, and high-profile collaboration might influence future brand artist partnerships. For now, Jungkook appears to have not only stepped into the spotlight, but also redefined the dimensions of it. As the glitter from the Tokyo event began to settle, the central question lingered in both fan communities and media circles. Why were the BTS members not present? Jungkook, since his debut with BTS in 2013, had rarely appeared at high-profile public events without at least one member by his side. Their brotherhood and unity had long been a defining trait of the group, frequently highlighted during award shows, promotional events, and personal vlogs. So for him to appear at one of the most significant career milestones solo, while surrounded by a completely different circle, did not go unnoticed. Observers noted the strategic weight of this decision. Calvin Klein, a brand known for its provocative, boundary-pushing campaigns, might have encouraged this departure from the norm to amplify Jungkook's image as an autonomous star. But would Jungkook have agreed to such terms without deeper personal alignment behind closed doors? Those familiar with the K-pop industry's intricate workings suggested that the absence may have stemmed from scheduling conflicts, particularly considering the staggered military enlistments of BTS members. Others hinted at a desire to allow Jungkook to explore a broader artistic identity untethered from the group's collective brand. Still, for the public, the optics mattered. Every major media outlet from Vogue Japan to Variety focused less on the clothes and more on the narrative. Jungkook stood alone, but not alone. He was supported just not by the people fans were used to seeing. His family members, though not often in the spotlight, provided an intimate layer of authenticity. Their presence felt grounded, familial, and quietly assertive, as though sending a message. This is who he is outside the fame. Meanwhile, the American celebrities by his side painted another picture, a calculated alignment with the global creative elite. It was a statement of power, reach, and relevance, not only in music but across cultural and commercial sectors. Jungkook's every move, every association, now seemed to signal a broader plan, one that transcended traditional K-pop pathways. Whether fans approved or felt conflicted, one thing became undeniably clear. This event marked a shift. It wasn't merely the launch of a new Calvin Klein collection. It was the launch of a new narrative for Jungkook, crafted with precision, intent, and global ambition. What had seemed like a fashion event now carried the weight of a strategic unveiling. And for those paying close attention, the signs had been there long before the Tokyo night lit up. Insiders revealed that Jungkook had been involved in the guest curation process months in advance. According to one anonymous event coordinator, he was very particular about who he wanted there. It wasn't just about fame, it was about meaning. Sources close to the planning committee detailed how Jungkook had emphasized the presence of his family, particularly those who had quietly supported his journey long before the spotlight found him. For many, it was the first time stepping into a high-profile international event, a surreal contrast from their ordinary lives in South Korea. One cousin reportedly declined initially, worried they'd be out of place. But Jungkook personally reassured them, insisting, "This is our moment, not just mine." Then there were his American friends and collaborators, individuals who had shaped his artistic growth over the past few years. The inclusion of these figures was no coincidence. It painted a picture of the evolving ecosystem around Jungkook, one that extended far beyond the boundaries of K-pop. Calvin Klein, for its part, welcomed the unconventional entourage. In internal memos, the brand's creative heads celebrated Jungkook's authenticity and bold storytelling. They restructured parts of the launch campaign in real time to reflect the unexpected attention. One segment of the show was added last minute, a montage of behind-the-scenes moments featuring Jungkook during fittings, interspersed with voiceovers from his family members. The emotional touch resonated deeply with viewers, adding layers of relatability to the glamour. Still, the elephant in the room remained. Fans continued speculating why none of the BTS members attended. HYB, the company behind BTS, declined to comment officially. Some fans defended the group's absence, noting possible schedule conflicts or military obligations. Others weren't convinced. More intriguing was how Jungkook himself remained silent on the matter. In the brief interviews he gave during the event, he spoke passionately about fashion, artistry, and embracing new horizons, but not once did he address the missing presence of his bandmates. One particularly striking interview moment came when a journalist asked, "How does it feel to experience this without your BTS brothers by your side?" Jungkook smiled politely. "Every moment has its own meaning. Tonight is special in a different way." He offered no further elaboration. It was enough to stoke curiosity without inviting controversy. The comment became a trending quote, dissected endlessly online. Was it a diplomatic dodge? A quiet acknowledgement of separation? Or simply a reflection of Jungkook's desire to step into his own spotlight, unaccompanied? Whatever the truth, the message had landed. Jungkook had made a definitive impression, and not just with his visuals or fashion choices. He had reshaped expectations. Calvin Klein's event was no longer just a brand showcase. It had become a cultural pivot point, spotlighting one of the world's most followed artists taking a deliberate, calculated step into uncharted territory. And in doing so, Jungkook didn't just ignite conversations, he owned them. It had been 3 days since the launch event in Tokyo, but Jungkook's name was still everywhere. From news outlets in Seoul to fashion columns in New York and entertainment blogs in Paris, his solo appearance had ignited a wave of global speculation that refused to subside. The photos of him standing alone with his extended family, flanked by famous faces from the American entertainment industry, were now iconic, circulated, analyzed, praised, and questioned. One of the most viral clips featured him stepping onto the black carpet, dressed in a refined but bold Calvin Klein ensemble. Cameras clicked furiously as he approached the press wall. He paused, nodded, gave a small smile, and walked forward, seemingly unaffected by the roars of his name or the questions shouted by reporters. But what wasn't captured in that video was the small hesitation in his eyes, or the way he glanced, only once, toward the end of the carpet, toward a space that remained notably empty, and other BTS members had shown up. And the world noticed. The media had offered theories. Some lighthearted, perhaps scheduling conflicts, or surprise appearances that had to be scrapped at the last minute. Others took a darker tone. Was something wrong within the group? Were they drifting apart? Was this the beginning of the end? Jungkook said nothing. Neither did Big Hit. The silence only made the noise grow louder. Inside his Tokyo suite, far above the city's dazzling lights, Jungkook stood by the floor-to-ceiling window. He had his hands tucked into the pockets of his hoodie, his reflection a silent echo in the glass. He had just finished a private dinner with his cousins and a few close friends, actors, producers, even an American R&B singer he'd long admired. But now, alone with the skyline, the adrenaline from the launch had long faded. He wasn't tired. He wasn't sad. But something pressed against his chest, a strange, unfamiliar pressure that he couldn't label. His phone buzzed, a message from RM. Saw the launch clips. "You looked strong." Jungkook smiled faintly, but he didn't reply. An hour passed. Then another buzz, Jimin. "Tokyo looks good on you." Still, no response. He read the texts, appreciated them, but the replies just didn't come. It wasn't bitterness. It wasn't attachment. It was something else, something he didn't fully understand himself. In the days leading up to the launch, he had extended invitations. Not formal, not mandatory. Just a message. Just a hope. He understood that the members were busy. Jin was still adjusting after his return. J-Hope was overseas. Taeyong had just finished filming in Spain. But he had hoped, even quietly, for something else. Not their appearance, necessarily. Just maybe a sign that they wanted to be there. But none came, and yet the world around him continued to celebrate. The Calvin Klein event had been a massive success. Fashion critics hailed him as a symbol of modern masculinity. American producers reportedly began whispering about crossover opportunities. His performance, though brief, was trending at #1 in Japan, #3 in the US. The fashion line itself had sold out in most regions within 48 hours. Jungkook, the global icon. Jungkook, the solo storm. Jungkook, alone on a stage he never asked to dominate by himself. That evening, his American friend Marcus, an R&B artist with whom Jungkook had collaborated during his LA days, knocked on his door. He walked in casually, dropped himself on the leather sofa, and opened a bottle of soda without asking. "You really caused a storm," Marcus said, grinning. "People are going nuts. You've got half of the US music scene buzzing." Jungkook chuckled politely. "Yeah, I noticed. But you're not celebrating," Marcus added. "At least not the way I thought you would." Jungkook tilted his head. "You ever feel like success doesn't hit the same if you can't share it with the right people?" Marcus leaned back, thoughtful. "Every day." The room was quiet again. Then